Hello, my name is Brandon Poundstone, and today I will be giving a presentation on Marlise Munoz, which is an original project done by myself as well as Sam Denny. So a little bit about what I'm going to talk about. First, I'm going to start off with the Munoz family background, then go into case background, talk a little bit about life support and the legal debate issues with the case. Then I'm going to look at two ethical views on this case and which ethical view I believe is ultimately the better decision. So about the Munoz family, Eric and Marlise Munoz were a married couple living near Fort Worth, Texas. They were expecting a child and already had one toddler. Both Eric and Marlise were paramedics, and this is significant because they had discussed end-of-life wishes with each other well before this case occurred. So about the case, on November 26, 2013, around 1 a.m., Marlise got up from bed to make her son a bottle. She collapsed on the ground and laid there unconscious, not breathing for an hour. After an hour, Eric found her in the kitchen, clinging on to life, still unconscious. He rushed her to John Peter Smith Hospital in an attempt to save her life. More on the case. On November 28, 2013, Marlise was pronounced brain dead. Brain dead means that the patient will not be able to regain consciousness or breathe without a life support machine. This is very important because they are legally confirmed as dead. The cause of Marlise's death was a pulmonary embolism, which I will talk a little bit more about on the next slide. From their previous conversations, Eric knew that his wife's wishes were to be taken off any type of life support in a situation where she was close to death. The problem was that when Eric requested his wife be taken off life support, the hospital refused, saying it was against Texas state law to take a pregnant woman off life support. It's about the life support. Embolism is an obstruction of a blood vessel by a foreign object or a blood clot that has traveled through the bloodstream. Pulmonary embolism is the blockage of an artery in the pulmonary system or the lungs. Symptoms of pulmonary embolisms are dyspnea, which is difficult or labored breathing, tachypnea, which is uncontrollable rapid breathing, and hemoptysis, which is coughing up blood. In extreme cases, fainting and sudden death. So a little bit about the legal debate. The reason there was problems with this case was because of the Texas Advanced Directive Act, which states that a person might not or may not withdraw or withhold life-sustaining treatment under the subchapter from a pregnant patient. The doctors told the Munoz family that their wishes did not matter. Because of this law, Marlise would have to stay on life support till the baby was delivered or died. But it ended up being that the authors of the Texas Advanced Directives Act stated that they never meant for the law to be used to keep a pregnant dead woman alive, and that John Peter Smith Hospital was misinterpreting the law. This just shows you an example of legal issues getting in the way and that laws can sometimes trump certain ethical beliefs. In January 2014, Eric Munoz's attorneys agreed that the fetus had suffered, or argued that the fetus had suffered from oxygen deprivation. The fetus's lower extremities were deformed, and to the extent that the sex could not be determined. The fetus also had a fluid buildup inside the skull and possibly a heart problem. Eric Munoz sued John Peter Smith Hospital for cruel and obscene mutilation of the corpse, and is it's I can only understand to begin what Eric Munoz was going through here. His pregnant wife was pronounced brain dead and was being kept on a ventilator against his wishes for months, for 2 months actually, after she was pronounced brain dead. So when the case got to court, it went downhill quickly for the hospital. The lawyer stated that in their filing that Munoz had been brain dead since Thanksgiving. The hospital also agreed that her fetus was most likely dead or going to die due to the lack of oxygen from when Marlise fell in the house and was unconscious for an hour or more. And the state district judge, R.H. Wallace, ruled that Mrs. Munoz is dead. Defendants are ordered to pronounce Mrs. Munoz dead and remove the ventilator and all other life-sustaining treatment from the body. On January 26, 2014, Marlise's body was finally removed from life support and her cardiac function soon ceased, more than 8 weeks after she was pronounced brain dead. So going into the ethical views on this case, the first view we can look at is utilitarian ethics, which from a utilitarian perspective, the best option would be to keep Marlise Munoz on life support in order to have the possibility of delivering the child. This is because in utilitarian ethics, they want the greatest good for the greatest amount of people. So they'd rather have one person die with the chance of the baby being born rather than having two people die for sure. The second ethical view we will look at is Kantian ethics. From a Kantian ethical perspective, Marlise Munoz's wishes should have been respected and her be taken off life support. Kantians believe you can't use someone as a means to an end. So Marlise's dead body should not be used as a means to deliver the baby, which is the end. Going into our beliefs, we believe that if the pregnancy was a little bit closer to the due date, then it would be more reasonable to try to deliver the baby. But the pregnancy was only 14 weeks in, so still very shortly into the pregnancy. We believe that it's wrong to treat Marlise as a mere means to deliver the baby due to an average pregnancy lasting 40 weeks. Marlise should have been granted her wish and be taken off life support as soon as it was requested. She should have never stayed on for the 8 weeks that she did and have the pain and suffering of her family happen. These are my resources, and I thank you for listening.